Hey, it's Chad Weber here. In about the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to completely change the way you use AI. In fact, the last three strategies towards the end, what I'm going to show you, I promise you right now, is going to completely change and upgrade the way you view AI because I'm going to show you a way to use it. Well, it's probably going to have you thinking, why didn't I think of that? Okay, really cool. It's going to make you a better loan officer. It's going to make you close more loans, and we're going to jump right into it. Now, just as a heads up, this is indeed a kind of a recap. It's a short, too long didn't read or abridged version of the webinar I hosted just last week. We went for an hour and 39 minutes. We covered some fantastic information, but this is for those of you that are super busy, but you still want to take some time to learn some of the things I'm about to show and share with you here right now. So let's jump right into it. But just giving you a heads up because that's why we're skipping a couple of things just to get to the meat and potatoes. So the first thing that I'm going to do is show you how to make your AI give you honesty. Now, this is a big problem with AI. Most people don't even realize they're dealing with is that AI has what's called an overlay or a pre-prompt that is designed to make it agreeable and to make it more optimistic and more rosy answers even when they're not deserved. So we call it being a yes man. So by giving it this prompt, you're going to completely remove that habit or at least toggle it way down, and you're going to get much more accurate and honest replies. Now, there are times where AI will just flat out lie to you because of these pre-prompts. So it's very important, especially if you're basing marketing and sales decisions on what the feedback AI is giving you, you must use this prompt. And what I strongly recommend is try asking it something one way now, and then give it this prompt, and then ask it the same question again, and watch as you get an almost 180 degree in the response. So this prompt is on the page where you're watching this video, so you don't have to pause and write it down manually. But again, I strongly recommend that you apply this, and you may need to reply it on a fairly regular basis. And anytime you open up a new chat, you want to apply it again before you begin that discussion if honesty is important to you. So now here's another strategy called the quality gate. And this is a very simple quality gate. So there's a reason I labeled it 1.0 in the actual webinar workshop. We do quality gate 2.0 and show you a more advanced way of doing it. But even adding just this very basic generic quality gate, this is a strategy that is used even by developers for AI when they run benchmark performances and whatnot. It's the quality gate that's kind of forcing that AI to check itself and make sure that it's giving you accurate and quality feedback. So this is something that you put on the end of a prompt. So after you've given the AI its instructions for a particular task, you're going to paste this quality gate on the end and then click send. And now this quality gate is going to force the AI to go through a logical process where if something's unclear, instead of making assumptions and guesses, it's going to ask you a couple of questions, or it's going to tell you, no, I fully understand, I have no questions. It's going to structure the way that it gives you its feedback so it's not long and rambling. And then it's also going to force it again to check its own work by providing concrete examples. And the reason why the concrete example is so important is because oftentimes AI is giving you opinions that it found on the internet. And sometimes those opinions are based on almost nothing. Maybe it found something on Reddit, for example, that really has no business being in a actual reply to a very important question, because you don't want opinions, you want facts, right? So by forcing it to give you actual concrete examples, you're forcing it to double check its source. Right? So again, this quality gate is going to give you a much more accurate and quality response. On average, even though this is only 1.0, you're going to see about a 20 to 30% lift in the accuracy and the quality of your responses. Okay. Now here's another quick upgrade to if you're using, for those of you who are using AI to write your content. So if you're using AI to write posts, your posts to Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever the case may be, you need to do this right away because it's blatantly obvious when ChatGPT, for example, has written content, and that's getting to be a real problem and can actually have a negative impact on your conversion. But also, Google and the search engines aren't exactly fond of just those copy paste AI written articles. So, number one is to ban M dashes. Number two, kill structural fluency, and number three, kill false profundity. Let's see exactly what that means. Is number one, the M dashes. The M dashes are like right here. And again, I did not remove M dashes from this presentation on purpose because I wanted to be able to point them out and let you know how obvious they are. When you see this, this is an M dash. Most people do not write this way. 99% of people do not write this way, yet suddenly they're everywhere, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in a single article. That's blatantly obvious that AI wrote it because people do not use M dashes on average, right? The other thing is the way that the AI writes, we need it to start taking on a casual tone, and we need it to be open to grammatical errors. So that's why I put in here, don't be afraid to start sentences with and or but to give a more conversational flow. We want to start forcing the AI to write in ways that it would not otherwise write left to its own devices. AI is going to be very proper. It's going to have a very predictable flow and tone and frame, and we need to fix that by replacing that with the use of contractions, starting sentences with and but, non-linear conversational fashion, and so forth, and to end on a strong point instead of these long concluding paragraphs that, again, are dead giveaways that people are using AI. And again, this can be harmful if you keep using AI without scrubbing it to make it more human sounding. It needs to sound more like you, take on your tone. So here's another prompt here to kill the false profundity. So I'm giving you the examples. It's basically word salad, right? Contrived contrast phrases is what they call them. It's not about this, it's about that. The real question isn't this, it's that. That's false profundity. That's word salad. It doesn't add anything profound, but it's trying to give the illusion of, and we need to remove that completely. So that's a very important prompt. Again, all the prompts are on this page, so you already have them. Okay, now we're jumping and switching gears to AEO. So AEO and GEO is basically where the focus is when it comes to inbound lead generation. So if you're looking to capture leads organically across the board, on average, lead generation, inbound lead generation from Google Maps is down about 32 to 34% in most industries. And a lot of that has to do with AEO and GEO. Now, what does that mean? AEO is answer engine optimization and GEO is generative engine optimization. All that means is if you go to Google and you type out a question where you see it now, it's giving you an AI summary that's on top. That's an example of an answer engine. GEO, generative engine, that's going directly to let's say Claude or ChatGPT and asking, hey, I'm looking to do a VA loan. Who's the best? Who should I use for my VA loan in this city or in that city? And the answer it gives you, that's GEO. That's an example, right? And it's getting to the point, guys, where you really, really need to start giving attention to this to make sure AI is recommending you. And the reason for is, number one, the conversion rates in leads that come from a search engine such as Google's only 2 to 3% on average, whereas it's between 20 and 35% if AI is recommending you. Guys, that's the same close rate as a referral, as somebody actually getting a referral from a friend, relative, or family member. I mean, that's huge. There's no contest in the closing rate. So why wouldn't we want that? And a part of that has to do with the fact that a lot of people treat AI as if it's infallible, because you look at the fact that people are using AI for investing advice, health advice, relationship advice, even mental health. It's no wonder that they are treating its recommendations so highly. So we can't change our opinion, so we might as well tap into it and make sure that AI is recommending you. And part of the way that we do that is through AEO and GEO, right? The other thing here, guys, is that 25 to 30% of all questions and searches now on Google are kicking off an AI answer first, and that's pushing all the rest of the results further down. And this isn't going away. AI's use is growing at 300 to 400% year over year, versus search, such as Google, it's plateaued at only 2 to 3% growth year to year. So this is not going away. It's not just a trend. So the leads are much more quality, so we need to do something about it. So one of the quick things that you can do right now to at least start giving yourself a leg up is to head over to ChatGPT, and you're going to replicate this on all the different major AI platforms. You're going to do it on Gemini, you're going to do it on Claude, you're going to do it on Grok. Basically, you're going to go there and you're going to ask who the best loan officer for whatever loan type you're looking to do. If you're looking to do more refis, VA, USDA, first-time home buyers, FHA, et cetera, you're going to ask it those questions, and I'm giving you here some different examples here, different ways to phrase it, and it's going to give you an answer, and it's going to make some recommendations. Then you're going to do a follow-up question and say, what searches did you use to come up with these recommendations? And it's going to give you the exact queries it used, because again, AI searches the internet first. So it has to be using a search term. Once you've identified the search terms that it's using, now you know the exact phrases, the exact questions, the exact search terms to incorporate into your Google Maps as well as your website. It's the exact match. And you're going to put them high up on your page. That's going to give you a huge leg up, guys. This is a fantastic strategy. It's super simple. Again, you're just asking it what question or what search terms did it use, what did it search for, and then you're going to write those down. Because it may give you 3 or 4, it may give you 8, 9, or 10. We don't know. So until you perform that test, but once you do, write those down. All right, so now cool use number 1. We're going to get to the top 3 really super cool ways to use AI most people have not thought of yet. So we're going to start off with the quickest one, and that's using it to find your ideal realtors. So I want you to go to whatever AI you prefer using. Gemini is a good start. You're going to type out a outline of what your ideal realtor looks like. Now, don't be afraid to go nuts here and really cherry pick. So get really picky here. You know, what niches do you want them to specialize in? What parts of what neighborhoods do you want them to specialize in? How many reviews do you want them to have on Google? They need to have active website. They need to have a minimum of 4 or 5 active listings and what websites to pull from. So you might have it pull from realtor.com, Zillow, and so forth, right? So you outline what your requirements are, and then give it a number to come back with. Tell it to come back with 30 recommendations or 50. Don't tell it to come back with 500 or 1,000, because when you give it just too much, it's either going to time out on you, or it's going to have a negative impact on the quality. So do it in smaller batches, 35, 50, that's probably a good starting point. But then I also want you to add in a scale and tell it to rank on a scale of either 1 to 10 or 1 to 100. I like doing 1 to 100. And then I tell it to tell me why it gave it that score. And then that way, when I'm scrolling through, I could see which ones have the higher match ratio. So something that's a 98 versus something that's a 70, I know which ones to prioritize, but also because it's giving me a quick summary as to I'm recommending this because of this or because of that, right? Very, very powerful. You know, you can even tell it to look for agents that are highly ranked on Google Maps because you know they're probably going to have more inbound leads. I mean, there's so many cool things you could do with this. The other thing is if you already have a list, because I know a lot of you loan officers already have lists of agents that you've downloaded previously, upload that list and then give it the guidelines and tell it to rank everything on that list. So that's reverse matching. And again, tell it to explain why it's recommending and giving the score that it is. AI is great matchmaker, guys. That's a fantastic use. Here's another very, very powerful tool. And this is one of my favorites of all. And this is going to make you a better loan officer across the board. And that is that we go to Claude, and on the left-hand sidebar of Claude, you could do this with a free account. Click on the projects button. So you might have to hover your icon over the buttons on Claude. But we're low on time here, so that's why I'm not demonstrating this. But I do in the full video replay of the webinar. But since we're short on time, I'm just describing it to you. Click on projects and open it up. It's going to ask you to name your project. And then I want you to create a project, a Claude project for every single loan type that you represent. So for example, you would have one project for general home buyers, you would have another for VA, you'd have another for first-time home buyers, and another for USDA, et cetera. Whatever programs you're really pushing, that's what you want to create. Now, remember, what makes Claude project so powerful and so much better than just a regular AI chat is the capabilities, the two additional capabilities that it gives you. Number one, being a knowledge base, in other words, the ability to upload files and then use those as the brain, air quotes here. And then the other is to give instructions that are connected to the persistent memory of Claude projects. So basically, what you're creating here is I want you to really, really think about what's happening. The A typical chat pulls its information from the internet, whereas here we're bypassing that and saying, no, no, no. Instead, you're going to use as your knowledge base, as your brain, you're going to use these files that I've selected, carefully selected and uploaded for you here. So what can we do with that capability? Well, for one, I want you to go to your CRM and go to your email and whatever other form of communication or platform you may communicate with your prospects and your closed transactions, and export all of the communications and all of the information you have for the past 6 to 12 months for each loan type. So let me explain. So for example, VA, I want you to go and grab and download every single conversation, any details or information you have about objections, timelines, any back and forth, copy entire strings of email conversation, any text messages, anything. Because what we're doing is we're going to feed, I want a minimum of 20 to 25 closed transactions details uploaded as the knowledge base, because the instructions, remember, we have two features. We have the knowledge base, then we have the instructions box. Within those instructions, we're going to tell it to analyze all of those communications and to take on the persona, the character of a VA home buyer, right? Now think about what you've just done here. This is very, very powerful, because typically we would have to guess and search the internet and upload, well, a VA home buyer's probably thinking this, probably worried about that, blah, blah, blah. But no, 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 we're bypassing that. We're going straight to real world data, your actual closed transactions, and any sort of history or communication you have back and forth with your prospect that led up to the closing. Because now the AI is going to have an actual understanding of what a VA buyer thinks about, what their questions are, what their objections are, how you handled those objections, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like climbing inside the brain of a VA buyer, because that's what you have created. So you can do this for more than just home buyers. We can do it for referral partners such as realtors, builders, divorce attorneys, CFPs, and so forth. This is a very powerful tool because, again, we're removing the guesswork and we're giving you a platform that you can now question and converse with. So now you're about to run an ad campaign and you're not sure if you're using the right headline. Ask the persona you created. It knows what the concerns and worries are because you've already taught it that and trained it on that by uploading 20 to 25, or heck, if you got more, upload all of it. In fact, if you have an audio, if you're in a state where you can record your conversations, let me tell you, that's an even step up above. I've done it myself several times, and I've used it to do voice stress analysis. And let me tell you, it actually rescued two deals for me. I had two transactions that I was working on, and they just mysteriously just gone silent. They were ghosting, and I actually had some recordings that I ran through, did a voice stress analysis, and the AI picked up on something very, very subtle that most humans wouldn't, and it was correct. It was spot on. Rescued the deal. One was worth over 8,000. The other was worth over 12, close to 13,000. So about $21,000 in rescue deals just from those two usage of this exact strategy. It works. And we even have a genius mode here where you can train one to behave like a loan officer and another to behave like the persona, and you can have them communicate, and one's overcoming objections, the other's throwing objections out there, and then you can post analyze. But this is fantastic, again, for resurrecting dead deals. So this actually leads directly into our final use, three, which is post-sales analysis. Now, this is again a scenario where you're being ghosted, or maybe a sale just kind of derailed. All of us have CRMs with all sorts of people that inquired and started off great, but then just disappeared. Run those through. But here's the difference. Here's what makes number three different than number two is you're going to train number three exactly the same as number two, but the difference is you're also going to upload a sales framework, a proven sales framework. What does that mean? Think of Spin Selling. That's one of the best-selling sales books of all time. There's other fantastic books. Grab your favorite, grab it as an ebook, a PDF, and upload it to the knowledge base. And now you're going to instruct the AI that, yes, it's still going to take on the persona of the borrower, but you're also going to, it's going to access the sales framework PDF to do an analysis so that it can rank you on a scale of 0 to 100, and even rank each and look at each scenario and situation, failed sales scenario, and rank what's the likelihood that you can resurrect this and what's the next step you should take, how should you communicate, what should your messaging be, and so forth. My guys, I'm telling you, this is going to save you deals. This is going to rescue and resurrect deals. Every single time I put this into motion for a loan officer, they've saved deals, and you're going to save a handful of deals every single month, most likely, because it works. I promise you, just do the work. Okay. So this is, again, it's game changing. I guarantee you the bulk of your competition's not using AI in this manner. And if you do, this is giving you an enormous leg up on your competition. So the best way to reach me, guys, because this is going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you want to dominate your market and you need somebody to help you set up AI, and more specifically, you want to set up a AI lead generation engine, for example, AEO and GEO and Google Maps. If your inbound leads are down, you need to get it back up to where it was or get more leads. If you want AI such as ChatGPT and Gemini to start recommending you and getting those super high quality leads, that is what I do. That's what me and my team, that's our specialty. I'm more than happy to look at your market. The best thing you can do is just text me. You're already on my website, so you don't even need the link. You're already on my website, most likely. So just go ahead and fill out the form there. There's a form that you can fill out and request a market analysis and a conversation with me, or you could just text me. Just send me a quick text to 314-312-2296. I'll get in touch, and let's connect and take a look at your marketplace, look for the gaps, analyze your competition, and see how we can help you dominate. All right. Looking forward to it. Make it a great rest of your day.